with Coach Wylie. Obviously, he's a great O-line coach when it comes to schematically with the technique and all that stuff. But having had the privilege of doing 3 training camps with him as a guest coach and 2 as his assistant, I can tell you the biggest thing that people don't get a chance to see is how Coach Wylie brings the group together, and how their communication is what is one of the biggest keys to the success of his O-line every year. So that's what his presentation is going to be on tonight. So I'll let you get going with it, Wiles.
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing? Now, Paul, right, when you're pushing these buttons, I'll tell you when to move it, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, guys, go to the next one. This is the, go back, that Cool Clinic, the Mushroom Cool Clinic. We've been doing this, and I know most of you guys you come down to it from up in Canada, come down to Cincinnati, but we had to cancel it this year, the first time in 38 years that we didn't have the clinic. All right, so you new guys don't know what this is. All offensive line coaches were always left in the dock and they feed as shit. Okay, that's how offensive line guys grow. Okay, so we come up with the mushroom as our logo, and the cool stands for Coaches of Offensive Linemen. Okay, and so we have a lot of little fun with this. So we usually have about over 400 guys that come every year. It's just line coaches, but other guys sneak in every once in a while. And it's really fun to attend. The college guys speak on a Friday night and the pro guys speak on Saturdays. And it's really an intense deal. I only give them a half hour for lunch. We buy 400 pizzas. Everybody gets a pizza, sits at the table, eats. I mean, and we really enjoy football. It's really intense from the time we start on Friday night until the time we break on Saturday. So hopefully this coming May we can do it. We can start up with it again. All right, but it's really a unique thing if you guys are interested in that stuff. So go ahead, Paul, move it. Okay, things I believe in, things that I think communication is one of the key deals, okay? And so I always have things that sayings I put up on my wall in my meeting room. If you ever see one of my meeting rooms, it's pretty kind of unique, right? There's not, now you're going to have to go back to classroom style because of the virus, okay? But my meeting rooms, God, going all the way back to before the Raiders, when I was with the Raiders, were always conference style because I wanted the players to see each other, okay? When you're in a classroom style and the guy in the back of the room makes a mistake, okay, and you're trying to point it out on the film and stuff, all right, those guys that sit in the front of the room, you don't see any of those guys turning around and looking at that guy, right? But when you're in a conference style setting, somebody messes it up, all right, they can see each other real easily. And it puts a lot of pressure on them. So I went to that conference style deal some years back, right? Things that are up on my wall. We go out the door. Okay, we're all in this together, right? I'm going to learn from them as well as they're going to learn from me because they're playing out there. They're the ones that are playing out there. So I find most coaches or a good percentage of coaches don't listen to their players. You have to listen to them. Listen to what they're talking about because they're playing the game. You guys are not playing anymore. That's just my buddies always ask me, don't you want to take another snap? Right? I haven't taken a snap in 50 years, and I don't intend to. Right? There's no way am I going out there and taking a snap, okay? So they're playing, and they're gathering information that you're going to need when they get to the sideline. So listen to them. Listen to them in the meeting rooms when they're talking, and they're going to listen to you, okay? So there's an exchange of communication that takes place there. Now, you may not do what they say, but just listen to them, okay? I always like this one. Billy Muir, you guys don't know Billy. Billy coached in the NFL for about 38 years, right? The trouble with knowing everything is you can't learn anything new, okay? In this sport, okay, I continually learn, and this will be my 48th year as a coach, 34 of them professionally, okay? So I'm still learning this game, okay, after all that time. So the problem with knowing everything is you can't learn anything new, All right. So when I have a play that has all the answers, I kind of just point to the sign on the wall. In other words, it tells them, keep your mouth shut and sit your ass down. Okay. Do the right things, right? How many guys have heard that? Do the right things, guys. Yeah, it's not just doing the right things. It's doing the right things right. That's a Dick Vermeil deal. Do the right things right. They all stretch, right? You all got them in stretch lines, and that's another conversation we can have later on. Okay, they all stretch. But are they stretching the right way, or are they laying on the ground, looking up the cloud formations, trying to figure out whether that friggin' cloud is an elephant or is that a cow? Okay, so that's if they're stretching, watch your plays. Are they stretching the right way? I mean, that's just one thing, you know. So they tell them to do the right things. They do the right things the right way, okay, and win. You know, I always thought win was winning the game. It's not, okay. Win is what's important now, okay. Teaching them to stay in the moment, and it's the toughest thing to teach a player at any level. From Pop Warner football to professional football, it's the toughest thing I've had in my career is teach the guys how to stay in the moment, okay? Because they get their ass kicked. All right, what they want to do is beat the hell out of the guy in front of them on the next play. That may not be your job, okay? We may not ask you to do that. We may ask you to pull, okay? It may be a draw set, okay? We're not, so, you know, win or lose the block, okay, on the play, you got to learn how to flush it. You got to learn how to get rid of it, okay? You got to learn how to stay in a moment, okay? Go ahead, Paul. All right, now, communication. This is the key to success. 80% of this game, okay, it could be 85, but at least 80%, we're all guilty of it, every one of us, okay? Myself included, okay? We're all guilty of this, is we're chasing the 20%. We're chasing the magical play. We're chasing the magical technique that's going to make everything right, okay? You got to step with this foot first and put this hand here, and your eyes go over here, and you got to see this, and you got to do all that stuff, okay? We chase all that, okay? But 80% of the game is communication. And very few people talk about the communication that takes place in the game. From the sideline to the field, from the field to the sideline, from the box to the field, right? From the field to the box, between the players, okay? There's a tremendous amount of information that has to be exchanged for all of this to all work. It's not just the schemes, and it's not just the techniques, okay? And Paul Brown used to tell us all the time, guys, it's not the plays. He would tell that all the time. Guys, it's not the plays. It's the details you put into the play. Plays don't matter. Everybody's going to run the same plays. Everybody has the same protections. There may be a wrinkle here and there, but it's the detail that you coach into the protections, into the run game, that makes it work, okay? So communication is the key to our success. I'm going to tell you what I expect from you. You have to learn to turn it on and off. Now, this is the very first thing I'm dealing with my players, okay? This is the very first, you know, you see those other slides, but this is the first slide that I get into the nuts and bolts of the first time that I am going to meet with my players as a group, okay? For the very first time at the beginning of the season, the beginning of training camp, okay? I don't do it so much in the beginning of the mini camp. It's more during the training camp periods, okay? If I can get it in during the off season, which you can in pro football, I don't know how much time you have in high school and college football to do it, okay? But, right, we become excellent communicators. We will become excellent communicators. You will be tested on what you know at any time. You know, I mean, you may be walking by me going to the locker room and I may be asking, hey, I had 60 protection. If they bring that will-free safety, what's going to be the line call? How are we going to handle that? And they better have an answer, okay? They should have an answer to that. A lot of times they see me coming, they go the other way. They don't want to answer shit. Okay. I will coach what I know. I will not try to bullshit you. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. A lot of times the coordinators have all the answers, right? They know everything, right? Okay. All right. So if there's something that they ask and I'm not quite sure how the coordinator wants to do it, or if the head coach is the coordinator, all right, I say, I'll tell the guys, look, I don't know right now, but before we get to practice, I'll have an answer for you. And I go get the answer, come back and give it to them. Okay. I'm not going to try to bullshit them. They're going to see right through you. Okay. You don't want to do that. Okay. My job, right, is to bring the Oakland Raiders offensive line at that time, all right, together every single day in every single game. All right. Now, Paul, you must have got this from when I was with the Raiders and not the Bengals or the Broncos.
I missed that one. That's my fault.
Okay. Right, go ahead. Next slide. So it's communication, guys. What am I looking for? Right? Does the player know what to do? Is the player trying to do what the player is coached to do? Okay, and are they in shape? Okay, so it doesn't make any difference if I'm in shape. That had anything to do with it. Okay, the guy ain't playing. Okay, are they in shape? Okay, so that's what I'm looking for when I get them. Okay, next. I go by what I see. All right, you can tell me all kind of shit you want to tell me, okay? And I'll listen. I go by what I see. It's what you are is what you are on film. That doesn't lie, okay? You are what you see on tape, okay? If you don't know what to do and you're not doing what is coached, okay, and we can't win with you. I set that right out with them. Okay, now, some players don't do it exactly the way you want it done, okay, because they can't. But the bottom line is, does that guy's assignment, does that guy's man that he has to block, does he make the play? Right? It's the production of the player. If this guy ain't making a play, don't fuck him up. Let him do it his way, okay? And sometimes it's what you don't coach is the most important, right? You got to learn as a young coach, okay, really at any level, it doesn't matter. You got to learn when to keep your mouth shut. Stop coaching the kid, okay? Just stop coaching them because you're screwing up. You're giving them too much information. Let him go play, and if this guy ain't making the play, that's a pretty good deal, okay? That's kind of what you want, all right? Now, sometimes you get some really good plays. Like I just had Joe Thomas. Well, what the hell? I got 4 guys in Joe Thomas. I had to coach 4 guys. Joe, yeah, block that guy, Joe. Okay, have a good time. Okay, yeah. So it really makes my job a little easier. All right, and then as the better your players get, right, the more you get in just the doing, okay, just putting in the what the defense does, just putting in the game plan, because they can play. All right, you just got to put it in the game plan. All right, go ahead. Next play. There we go. First fundamentals of football, there are no guarantees. All right, you're playing a high-performance game, and there's no guarantees what's going to happen out there. Okay? Next. Right? We come together through communication. Remember, we started that first thing, right? Communication. There's barriers of communication that you have to overcome, right? There's fear, there's prejudice, there's habit, there's language, okay? Those are all barriers of communication. Some guys sit in a meeting and they're absolutely afraid to ask a question. They are. They are absolutely afraid to speak, okay? Sometimes it's because there's a language difference, there's an accent difference, there's a cultural difference. You know what I mean? You got to get over that, okay? Some guys do everything because it's a habit. Sometimes the habits they have may not be the correct ones, okay? So now you have to change the kid's habit. You got to change it through communication, all right? So success, 85% is personal skills, and 15%, like I was saying earlier, is the technical stuff, right? I mean, everybody here is trying to chase the technical stuff, all right? You're better off chasing the communication stuff. How are you going to get it across to them, okay? Go ahead. Building habits by always asking questions. I remember Paul Brown years and years ago, way, way back, 5 days after there was dirt. Okay, I was way back with Jim McNally, was the line coach at the Bengals, and I would go to training camp with Jimmy, right? And I'd spend the whole training camp and preseason with the Bengals, and okay, and you would be, and Coach Brown was still alive back there, and one of his favorite things, okay, was you should tell your players, always ask why. Always ask why. Just don't sit there and take it, as this the way it should be. Okay, ask why. And as a coach, you better have an answer why. And it's not going to be because I tell you to. Okay, you got to give the guy a good common sense reason why we're doing this and why it makes sense to them to do this. Okay, and they may come back and have a better way. So always ask why, right? And 85% personal skills, you have communication, you have honesty, and you have integrity, right? That second one, honesty, that's that's one where they come off the field, right? And I say, hey, what happened? I said, you blocked the three technique? Oh, yeah, I got him, coach, I got him. And then you put the video on, right, the next day or after the game, right? And they didn't even two-hand touch the son of a bitch. So they better be honest, okay, on what they see and what they've done out there, because it still may be a good play, okay? Because the play got messed up one time doesn't mean it's a bad play. I mean, it means somebody may have messed it up somewhere, right? Well, get it right the next time, and it's a good football play, right? Integrity, right? There's an integrity built into everything, okay? Maintain the integrity of what you can do, right? Man must know his limitations. Stay within that. Next, Paul. Okay. Build a filter system into your head. There are 4 different kinds of communication. Now, a lot of this stuff, communication, you keep hearing me talk about communication. There's 4 ways that we communicate on the planet. Anywhere on the planet, there's 4 ways we communicate. One is phatic communication. It's a small talk. It's a wave, a casual meeting, an introduction. Like you're walking down the hall, hey, Joe, how you doing? All right, oh, good to see you. Have a good day. And keep on going. That's phatic communication, okay? Somebody screws up, right? And you say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And they flip you the bird, right, the finger. That's phatic communication, okay? Cathartic communication, it's negative. It's discontent. It's bitching. It's complaining. It's about like what your wife or girlfriend does, okay, when you're coming home from the bar and you smell a cigar smoke and beer, okay, and you got 5,000 napkins stuck in your pockets with all football players drawn over them, okay, and she is bitching, complaining about you, okay. You're trying to sneak in the house, okay, you other guys try to do that, you sneak in the house. I was going to be home early, but it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's trying to sneak in the house, and it's as quiet as you take off your shoes and put them as gently as you can on the floor, okay? Right? You take your jacket off and get down, and for whatever reason, they wake up and you get cathartic communication. The negative, the discontent, the bitching. I have a way I fix that in my house, okay? When that happens, I come in, the first thing I do is I slam the door and I throw my shoes on the floor, okay, and I go in the refrigerator and I get a beer, and the next thing I yell is, hey, anybody in this house want to have sex? They never wake the fuck up. Never, ever do they ever wake up. Sound asleep. Right? It works every time, okay? Now you have persuasive communication, okay? Right? That's teaching. It's trying to move them in the right direction. Coach Brown used to say, teach them, don't tell them, coach. Teach them, don't tell them. Write that down. There's a big difference between teaching them and telling them. There's a gigantic difference between that, okay? Teach them, don't, that's persuasive communication, okay? Informative communication, information you can see. Okay, what I want you to do, this is what it looks like, okay? Information, informative communication. Okay, those are the only 4 ways you can communicate on the planet, okay? Right, the player has to build a filter system in his head. He's going to take in, because you're taking in thousands of bits of information, right, all the time, right? And he has to keep the good shit, put that in a good shit file, and get rid of the bad shit, right? Let it go, okay? Because there's a lot of media guys out there that have no idea what they're talking about, all right? So you can hear a lot of the bad stuff, okay? And you're going to hear a lot of the good stuff. Kind of ignore all that shit. Just keep the stuff in that you need to become a better player and a person. Be consistent as a player, and I'll be consistent as a coach, okay? Freedom to perform at the highest level of football is done through communication and preparation, okay? I expect you to have the highest standard of preparation. You will be tested, right? Like I said. Little things in communication that make a difference, okay? Example, Wayne is not down, okay? They say Wayne is down. That's wrong, right? Kind of watch how you say it to the kids. It's like Peyton Manning is down. Oh, my God, how are we going to win a game? Peyton's not. No, he's not in the game, right? Wayne is not in the game right now, okay? We build trust in one another. And right, you will learn to think under pressure. You have to learn to think under pressure. You have to learn to keep your poise under pressure, right? You have to keep them on that all the time, okay? Next. Jazz sessions, okay? This is kind of unique. I get stuff from a lot of places, but this comes from the North American Plains Indians, okay? Scoring a touchdown, kicking a field goal, okay? Interception for a touchdown, kickoff, return for a touchdown, punt return for a touchdown. That doesn't make any difference, okay? Plays, okay, that work, okay? They're examples of jazz sessions. Go congratulate your buddy who scored. Celebrate with your teammates. If you guys, I don't know how much film you look at from the States, but if you watch my lines, if you even watch the Cleveland Brown line, the last one I had, okay, those guys were pretty good. We finished second in the National Football League. They grade all the lines now. That line, my last line there was number 2. But somebody scores a touchdown, they go congratulate the guy. They go congratulate the guy. Same thing with Winnipeg. The Winnipeg guys, when I had them, they go congratulate the guy, okay? Then they go try to jump in the stands. That is complete. I did not put that in. They did that by themselves. Okay, next. There we go. Working together. No, go back. Go back, boy. There you go. Working together. Gung ho. How many guys who know that, right? Gung ho. You've heard that before, right? What that gung ho means, to work together in harmony, right? Pre-decor. That's elements of perfect harmony which help make success. Having fun. It's the dynamic and vital substance which the Marines are based on. The Marines do it the best in the world. And nobody better than those guys, okay? They do it the best. They have a shared devotion to a cause, okay? What better shared devotion to a cause is keeping the quarterback upright, right? Or creating a lane for the running back to run through. That's shared devotion to a cause. Pretty important cause if you're an offensive lineman. Trying to get 5 guys to compete as one heartbeat. You hear in the Marines, they always talk about esprit de corps. Okay, esprit de corps. Right? It's the common feeling existing in members of a group and inspiring strong regard for the honor of that group. Okay. A shared devotion to a cause is elements of perfect harmony. Okay. The dominant feeling on the battlefield is that of loneliness. The esprit de corps gets you through that. Okay. When you're in combat, when the first shot fires, okay, you're not, what you're thinking about, the first thing that comes into your mind, the way they train you, you look to your right, you look to your left, right? So how am I going to get my buddies out of here? How am I going to keep them safe? All right, how are we going to get out of here? How are we going to fix it? How are we going to do this? Okay, it doesn't matter who you're fighting for or who you're fighting against. Right, at that point in time, in that moment in time, that's what comes into your head. Everything slows down, okay? Look to your right, look to your left. All right, how am I going to get my buddies out of here alive? Right? You're working with those guys on either side of you. And you're going to get the offensive line that have that same mentality, guys. Come through together for your teammates. Next, Paul. Go to the next one. This is because I only have so much time and I don't want to spend it on Genghis Khan. Oh, I thought he did. He conquered 5,500 miles, okay, in a year. 5,500 miles. You know how far that is? That's from going to New York to Los Angeles or Halifax to British Columbia, okay, and then another 2,500 miles into the ocean. You know how far that is? Those guys could run, I mean, not run, they could ride horseback from 70 to 120 miles a day, right? Try doing that. Any of those guys could play for me. Any of those guys have that mentality, could play for me. The group, now write this one down because you're not going to get all these shots on these screens unless Paul's recording this stuff. The group chemistry becomes the most important thing. More important than any of the blocking schemes, more important than any of the X's and O's that I can draw on the board. The group chemistry is the most important one. The chemistry that you create between your players and yourself in that meeting room is more important than 60 protection. It really is. It's more important than running the inside zone play. Okay? That's that stuff. Okay, you have to create that atmosphere with your players. The feeling of trust and loyalty, okay? And it can't be a facade. It can't be a make-believe deal. You know, my players, I get all their birth dates, okay? I get their wife's birth dates. I get their anniversary dates. Okay, I get their children's birth dates. And they get cards. If there's a birthday and we're in season, I make sure in that meeting room, there's a cake for that player with his number on it and a candle and his name. Okay, I make sure that that happens. Okay, I make sure that the wives get flowers on the anniversary because that dumb son of a gun's going to probably forget to send them. Okay, right? So I make sure that happens. You know, Christmas times or birthday times, I make sure the kids get toys. Whatever the toy, train, car, doesn't matter. Doll, doesn't make any difference. Okay, you're showing them, okay, that you treat them as people first and players second. Right? Players don't care how much you know. They don't give a shit about how much you know. Players care about how much you care. And as soon as you demonstrate to them how much you care and it's not bullshit, you'll be amazed what they'll do for you. It's absolutely amazing what they stay late, they come early, they stay after practice. There's none of this, oh, we only can stay out here for 4.5 hours. We have to go in now. No. Right? They do what they need to do when they need to do it to get better. And there's no complaining about it, okay? Besides, bitching to an offensive line coach is a form of flattery. So if they're bitching at you, that's flattery for me, guys. I will always have the answers. When something goes wrong, it's my fault. Okay, if something goes wrong out there, okay, even if it's their fault, it's my fault. I'm taking the blame for this. Okay? I refuse to let the offensive line be blamed without me being blamed. I'm not going to let that happen. Okay? Especially with those guys writing all those articles. Okay? I will listen to your thoughts and ideas. You already heard me say that. Right? You need to be tough and tough-minded. Everybody needs to improve their hands. I bet you if you watch all your film, their hands are not good. Okay? One of the toughest things to do, where do you put your hands? Where do the hands go? Okay? All right. All pro players, and I think this is true about everybody, but all pro players, I know anyway, at my level, play too high. They all think that because they made it in pro football, that they can now wrestle the guy, and that's okay. No. As far as I know, leverage, right, still becomes a big part of this game. You have to leverage the defender. Okay, you have to change his spine angle to get him to move someplace, to go someplace. You know, move him from point A to point B against his will. That's what you're trying to do with that son of a gun. Okay. we will, as an offensive line, and this is kind of like what I carry with me wherever I've been. You want to be poised. It's not always going to go like we draw it up as coaches. Okay? It's not. Okay? So you need to keep your poise. You need to be able to figure it out. Okay? Be physical, because this is a physical game. Okay? You got to be a physical player. Okay? And finish everything you do. Finish the block. Finish your workout. Finish the video. Finish studying. Finish a meal. They'll do that anyway, but okay? You gotta, you know, you gotta instill that in them. Okay? Boys, it's not gonna go right all the time. The other thing I believe in is I try not to give my players just to do it one way. Hey, you need to do it this way. You know, because if that way isn't working out there and you've got a 10 or 11 play drive, right, you just put that kid in a really bad position. That's your fault. Okay, that's not his fault. That's your fault. Okay, you put that kid in a bad position. So you better have in his toolbox different ways to accomplish the same thing. Now, I'm not saying you give the kid 5,000 things to do, but you got to give him at least 2. You do it this way, but if this way ain't working, you might want to think about this. Okay, because you gotta try to save his ass. And they have to be coached well enough out there, because they can't talk to you on the sideline, because when you're on the sideline, right, you're a spectator, right? You're really no different than the guy sitting in the stands. All you're doing is taking notes, okay? You're watching the game just like those other guys, okay? So, right, you only help them when they get off the field. Okay, out there, they got to make the corrections on their own. Hey, I got to spend a little more time on this double team. Hey, the linebacker's hanging. We can push this guy a little more. You know, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Hey, I can get by the street technique and help the tackles. So center, hey, right, you want to come a little bit flatter on this slide. All right, you know, whatever they're talking about, they're making adjustments out there by themselves. Okay, Paul, next. Treat people with courtesy on and off the field. There are no details too small. Now, I learned this next one here. I learned this years ago. Another quick little story. I got a million stories. In the little town where I grew up in Rhode Island, there's this little town called West Warwick, Rhode Island. It's 4 by 6 miles wide. Okay, it's got one baseball league. Okay, just one, that's it. And you had to be a pretty good player to make the team, one of the teams. So they have tryouts. And if you don't make it, then you got to go play in the farm system. Right? So I said, okay, so I go out for the team, right? I'm a catcher. I make it through the first. I make it through the second cut. I make it through the third cut. Now you get that little swagger about you. You know, you think you're a big shit. Okay, I'm only 12 years old. Right? Right now I get to the fourth cut and I get cut. Oh, I was pissed. Okay, I come home. I'm upset. I throw my glove in a room, my bedroom. I'm sitting down on a bed. My old man comes in and says, what's the problem? So I got cut. You got cut? Yeah. You know how the modern day parenting, they pat the kid on the back. Oh, don't worry, son. Everything's going to be all right. There was none of that shit. Okay. You got cut? Well, maybe you should practice more. Okay. So, holy shit. Right now, fast forward. That's another thing that drives me nuts. Little Johnny has to play for 3 minutes. Little Johnny has to get a trophy. Little Johnny has to get the 9th place swimming ribbon in the meet. I didn't even know they gave a 9th place fucking ribbon. Okay? That shit drives me crazy. If Little Johnny sucks, he don't fucking play. Okay, that's it. You want to play? Get a little better, right? So we're playing the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, so I get dressed early, I go down to the field. Okay, and I talk to my buddies that coach on the other side. And I go find Jerry Rice. I say, Jerry, coach, how you doing? I said, okay. I said, can I ask you a few questions? He said, yeah, no problem, coach. All right, real nice guy. I said, Jerry, when it's all said and done, you're going to be probably the best or one of the best football players ever to play this game, okay? I said, what's your mentality? How do you get yourself ready? What do you do to prepare yourself? He said, how do you get better? He says, Coach, right? If you want to get a little better, work a little harder. I said, holy shit, my old man told me that 40 plus years ago. All right? It's not that hard. All right? You want to get a little better? Work a little harder. It's not rocket science. Okay? Go ahead, Paul. Be known for something. Have your guys be known for something. Even if they get off the bus, look good getting off the friggin' bus. Okay? Put the big guys first getting off the bus, not the little guys. Okay? To me, it's finishing a block. Look good finishing the block. Okay? The ability for you to play free and hard lies in the preparation that you put in it. Okay? Now, here's what I can tell you guys. Write this stuff down. You can use it as your locker rooms talk or whatever. You know, your emotions in the game are only going to get you so far. They're only going to carry you far, your emotions. You know, you get that little feeling in your stomach. You get those goosebumps. You start getting all pumped up and you're jumping up and down and slapping each other around and doing all that shit. Okay, now that's nice. Your emotions are only going to get you so far. The crowd noise is only going to get you so far. Okay, you go out there, you run through the tunnel, they shoot off the fireworks and the smoke, right? The crowd's cheering, the band's playing. Well, that shit is only going to carry you so far. Okay, what's going to win the game for you? Because all that stuff's going to go away. What's going to win the game for you is the preparation that you put in it during the week. Your 3 or 4 preparation days, that's what's going to win the game for you. Okay? Your emotions get you so far, the crowd goes to get you so far, but the preparation you put in to play the game, that's what's going to win the game. Okay? You have to make a commitment, right? 4 things. Come off the football, your departure angle is critical. Step with the correct foot. I don't use the term right here because the idiots will read it and say, step with the right foot. No, step with the correct foot. Okay? Block the correct guy. Okay? And finish the block. Real easy said, huh? Try to do it. Okay? Next. Work a little harder. Just keep this one. Let's go. All right. The power of the objective. Achieve competitive greatness. Okay. Great is a sense of destiny. Okay. Okay. Greatness is a choice. Write that one down. Greatness is a choice. Okay. No matter who you are, no matter what you, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, leave your mark. Right? Be known for something. Leave a mark. Right? You must have a clean-cut objective. Then you must have a step-by-step progression of how you're going to achieve that objective. Okay? When my guys go on the field every day, they have something that I give them to do. 1 or 2 small things that they need to work on that they're not very good at. It could be the first step, second step. It could be where they're trying to place their hands. It could be where their eyes go. It could be anything. But I'm not going to give them 7 or 8 things to do. I'm going to screw them all up if I do that. Okay? I just want them to make little increments of getting better. Okay? I don't want them to get, 3 feet better in one day. I want them to get 1 inch better in one day. By 7 days, it's 7 inches. 2 weeks, you got 14. Okay, 3 weeks, you got 21 inches, okay? You got that much better. Okay, but if you try to give it to them all at once, you're going to screw them up. And then I want to see what I gave them to work on show up on the practice tape after practice. Okay, that's all I care. That's all I care about for that. That's your job today. That's what you're doing today. Okay, that's how you're going to get them better. So they have that clean-cut objective of how they're going to get it done. Okay? I always give my players that clean-cut objective. Okay, here's what happens in a game, the game situation. Okay, now think this through. The whistle blows. Okay, when the whistle blows, what does that tell you guys? Most of you guys don't tell me, I mean, stop. No, in my little head, the way I coach my players, when the whistle blows, you finish. Whatever you're doing, you finish it. Okay, when you hear that whistle, it may be that last shove, that last push really pisses the defenders off. Okay, right? But you finish it. Okay, now at that point in time, you've either won or you lost. There's no gray areas. Okay, you've either won it or you lost the battle. Okay, if you won it, pat yourself on the butt, get back in the huddle, right? Give the information to anybody that needs it in the huddle, your player, your buddies, that's on either side of you. Okay, great. You know how they get up, they adjust their face mask, they adjust their shoulder pads. They got that little swagger in their walk when they're going back to the huddle, if you have a huddle. Okay, all right, that's good. If you lost it, okay, right, what mindset are they in? Okay, if the kids lost it, what mindset? You know, I always hear coaches talk about a mindset. It's amazing. I sit there and I listen to this, right? And I bet you everybody here is listening to this has used it. Hey, guys, you got to have a mindset, right? But you never explain to the kid what a mindset is. You can see, yeah, we have a mindset today, right? But you never really explain to the player what it is. All a mindset is your brain, your eyes, ears are taking in thousands of bits of information every second, okay? And all a mindset means is that it's interpreting, your mind, your brain is interpreting all that information. That's all that mindset means. Okay, now within that mindset, you have a little voice that talks to you from the time you wake up in the morning until the time you go to bed at night. Okay? Now, you're either going to be in a growth mindset or you're going to be in a fixed mindset. Same voice. The guys that are in a fixed mindset, it's based on judging. It's somebody else's fault. I didn't see the linebacker. I didn't hear the center's call. I didn't hear the quarterback. I didn't see the safety. It's somebody else's problem. You're throwing somebody under the bus, okay? That kid is going to get your ass fired, okay? That's what's going to happen with that kid, okay? He may be a pretty good player when he does it right? But when he does it wrong and he loses, that guy is going to be a problem. So now you have to get him from a fixed mindset into a growth mindset, okay? The kid in the growth mindset does it wrong or gets beat. He says, whoa, how did I mess that up? Okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, how am I going to fix it? How am I going to get better? You want your players in that frame of mind. All right, you want them in the growth mindset. Okay, and you got to learn how to get them from the fixed mindset into the growth mindset. You guys understand that concept? Right, so now they're back in the huddle. Okay, now let's just say whatever the play was, whether they won or lost, now it doesn't make any difference. They're in the huddle. All right, usually the quarterbacks do not stand in the huddle. They're standing outside the huddle because the play's coming in from the sideline. There's personnel being exchanged. The quarterback's trying to find a play on a wristband that has 250 plays on it. Okay, and he's trying to find what number it is so he can read the play. And then he needs to know if he needs to flip it from one hash or to the other hash. Okay, so he needs to figure that stuff. That stuff about the quarterback looking at the defense, that is total bullshit. Okay, all right? The quarterbacks are not looking at the defense, okay, when the ball is not in play. Right? They're trying to figure a whole mess of other shit out, okay? The offensive line's looking at the defense. I know that for sure, okay? They're trying to figure out, is it a three-man scheme? Is it a four-man scheme? You know, is it nickel? Is it dime? Is it quarter? What is it? Okay, so, and they can give that information to the quarterback. Okay, so now the quarterback, all the exchanges are done. He's got the play, right? The quarterback, the last thing he does is he counts up how many guys are in the huddle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In Canada, it's 11. I'm 12. I step in. Okay, in the States, it's 10. I'm 11. I step in. Okay, once he's in the huddle, okay, we usually have some type of word, right? You know, I got it. Listen, okay? You know, give me your eyes. Whatever it is, Right? At that point in time, you need to flush the last play. You need to get rid of the last play. Win or lose, it is no good to you anymore. Okay? Learn from it and get rid of it. It's ancient history. Okay? So that's a key of when to get rid of that last play. Now, if you can be mad at yourself if you lost it, okay, if you didn't win the battle, that's okay. Okay, but once the quarterback's in there, okay, that's it. It's done. Get rid of it because you can't let it fester inside of you. It will drive you crazy. Right? You may miss the next 3 blocks, okay, because you're letting yourself get mad and you're getting all tensed up. All right? You don't want to do that, okay? You have to learn, key deal, stay in the moment. Remember that all the way back in the beginning of this conversation? They have to learn how to stay in the moment. The only thing now is what the quarterback's going to call next. Last plays, ancient history. The next play, you don't know what it's going to be. All you know is what the quarterback is going to call right now. Okay? And the quarterback calls the play, whatever your inside play is. You know, when I was with the Bears, it was 16. We could call 16. Okay, the Raiders, it was 20 gut or 40 gut. Okay, it's the same play, it's just different words. Okay? So he calls the play. Okay, now, as soon as he calls the play, right, everybody ask yourself 3 questions. Right? I want the whole team to do it. Okay, ask yourself if it's a run play. Okay, number 1, who do I have to block? Write it down, you guys, or forget it. Who do I have to block? Right? Number 2, what can the defense do to me in the configuration that they line up in? Because what happens is half the line sees one picture, and the other half of the line sees the other picture, right? And the center has to see the whole deal and put it all together. So what can the defense do to me in the configuration that they line up in? Okay? And then number 3, how am I going to get the job done? How am I physically going to get this done? What foot do I step with? What's the line call? Am I working with the center? Am I working with the tackle? Tackle, you working with the guy? How's this going to all take place? Okay, and you organize yourself, you organize your thoughts on the way to the line of scrimmage, not when you get there. When you get there, it's too late, the ball's coming up. Okay? Organize your thoughts on the way to the line of scrimmage. Now, on the way to the line of scrimmage, you're organizing your thoughts, but your eyes start deep. Find the safety. That's easy in Canada. There's only one guy back there. Right? In the States, you got to find both safeties. Find the safeties. Because they're going to tell you what's going to happen in front here. Then your eyes drop down to the nearest backer to your side. Then your eyes drop down to the nearest defensive lineman to your side. Okay, the last guy you look at is really the guy you're going to block. That's where you finally end up looking at that guy, right? Because you're gathering information, right? You're drawing those lines because you're forming a triangle, and that triangle is going to tell you what's going to happen in the defense by film study and whatever. Okay? Right now the ball snapped, right? You play, the whistle blows, and you start the process all over again. You clean the slate and you start the process again. Okay, now, see how much I've coached, right? See how much I've coached you guys? And the ball is dead. The ball is dead. The ball has not come up. Right? There's a lot of communication that has to take place when the ball is dead, as well as when the ball is alive. Am I making sense to you guys? Did I lose anybody? Okay? You guys understand that part? Okay. Next ball. You there? Unconscious confidence. This will be the last thing I cover. Because there's so much stuff in here, I could be here all night. And I want to give John, because John Stroll is a hell of a football coach. And a lot of the techniques I use, I stole from John. Okay, how the body works. Okay. Go back, Paul. Right. Unconscious confidence. I can ask all you guys out there, how many guys know what that means? Okay, a lot of guys, unconscious confidence, I'm not sure what it means, right? John F. Kennedy says, we choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Okay, none of this stuff is easy, guys. It's hard. Okay, Socrates, an ancient Greek, believed in unconscious competence. So how far do you think that goes back? 2,000 years? Right, they figured this out 2,000 years ago. Okay, right. So I think Socrates was my neighbor. He was 2 blocks down on the left. Okay, there's 4 stages of learning a new skill. Don't you think that if you're an educator, if you're a coach, okay, that you should know the 4 stages of learning a new skill? Wouldn't that be helpful to you? Okay, I think that would be pretty helpful. I wish I would have known this when I was a young football coach just coming up, okay? Really? Everybody on the planet learns, okay, the same way. Everybody, right? The 4 stages of learning a new skill. The first one is you're unconscious and you're incompetent. So when this is all my first meeting with my players, right? So the player has no idea that the skill exists. So when I first meet my players, right, and I don't care if it's Joe Thomas, JC, or Anthony Munoz, or any of those guys I had, okay, when I first get the line for the first day, I assume, right, and I shouldn't assume these things, right, that they're all unconscious and they're incompetent. The player has no idea of the skill that I'm going to introduce him. And he has no idea that he doesn't know, and it's not his fault, okay? It's not his fault. So that's where I stop, right there, that premise, right? Then I got to get him into stage 2, which is conscious incompetence. Okay, now I'm going to introduce the player to the new skill that I'm trying to teach him, okay? Now, in order for me to do that, I have to know the player's strength and his weaknesses. So I go through, before I get them, and I start looking at the film, and I start writing down what they do good and what they do bad. This is your strength, these are your weaknesses, okay? And I keep a nice little report on them. Okay, so when I get the kid and I start talking to that player, I can tell him, okay, this is what you're doing good, but you don't do this as well, okay? So we need to work on these, right? And I have to know what those are if I'm going to try to make them any better, okay? So now I'm going to introduce the skills that are going to make each one of these players individually better player, which means we'll become a better offensive line, right? Which means what? That the offense becomes better, that now the team becomes better, and it's like a domino effect, okay? Right now, at this point in time, from stage 1 to stage 2, this is the spot where most coaching and teachers fail. If you're going to fail, you're going to fail right here. Because you think that just because you've given it to them, that they got it. They don't have it. They don't have it. I read a book one time from a guy from Harvard. What was that guy's name? I forgot it right now. But anyway, it said, in order to get it into the subconscious mind, it takes 10,000 man hours. Now, I'm not sure it's 10,000 man hours. Now, a guy may because he's from Harvard, but I'm not sure. In this profession, right? I think it's the complexity of the task, right? That they're asking the kid to do. Right? I know I read another book one time, 33 Perfect Reps. Well, if you have to block Vince Wilfork, I think he was with the Patriots, now he's with Houston, right? In you get 33 perfect reps, you let me know how you make out with that, okay? Come back and tell me how you make out with that block, okay? Right, I think it's somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000, some like reps, snaps, whatever you want to call it. Repeating things, okay? Right, that's going to get the player the complexity of the task. 33 perfect reps. If I told you, okay, coach, go open that door, right? And it's a regular door. Okay, nothing fancy. You don't need a passcode. Okay, just a doorknob, right? And it takes you 33 reps to open that door, then we have a problem. There's a problem there, okay? Because the complexity of the task is not that great, okay? Which should take you that long to figure that out. Okay, so you open the door. Okay, so it's the complexity of the task that's concerning. So now, when you get the players back, you better go over it again. Because once they leave you, they went right back to stage one. You get them back, you go over it again. You get them back, you go over it again. You got to keep going over it. Okay? Repetition is the mother of all learning. Okay? Now, you got to get it from stage 2 to stage 3. Now, how do you do that? Okay? Reps. You keep going over it and over it and over it and over it. And in my mind, in my little mind, when the thought occurs, yeah, they got it. When I say that to myself, right, they don't have it. They don't have it, okay? Because when it starts to move and the picture starts to change, they don't have it, okay? You're probably got another 500 to 1,000 reps to go yet before they get it, okay? So you get them into stage 3, conscious competence. What is conscious competence? They can do it, okay? I can see it on film or on video. I always use the term film because that's where I started in this profession. Right, a lot of you guys have no idea what 16 millimeter film is. So, but that's where we started in this profession with that. Okay? Once I get to see it on air, once I hear them talking like I do with the vocabulary, not with the accent, okay? Once I hear them speaking in the way I would teach them, okay? I see it on film. I got them going in the right direction, okay? They're in stage 3. Stage 3, they can do it, but they got to think about it. They're going to think about where their first step goes, where their hands go, where their eyes go. They're thinking about it. I don't want them to think. Right? I want the ball snapped. I want you to go play. Okay? And then you get into stage 4, which is unconscious competence. Right now, all you guys probably drive cars. When you leave the house in the morning or at night or whenever you leave, you get in your car, you put the seatbelt on, you start the car up, and you drive. You never, ever thinking about driving the car. You don't think about it. You just drive. Why? Because you've done it thousands of times. Okay, you get out of the car, you shut the door. Do you think about it? No. You turn on a light switch. Do you think about it? No. You're sitting there and you're breathing. Are you thinking about it? No. That's unconscious competence. You want your plays to get to that level. Okay, do they all make it there? No. It doesn't mean they can't play. That doesn't mean anything like that. It's where do they play, right? Defensive line are filling those stage 3 guys. I got that gap or I got that gap. That's not very difficult, okay? Right, but I wouldn't put the defensive play caller, signal caller in that spot. I wouldn't put the free safety in that. Quarterback wouldn't be in that slot, okay? Right, those, there's certain positions that you need them in stage 4. You got to get them to stage 4. Unconscious confidence. So they just play the game. Okay? And you can't skip. You can't go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. You can't do that. Okay? Excuse me, you can't go from 1 to 3, 2 to 4, 1 to 4. You can't do that. Okay, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now within that process that you put them through, actually, how do they learn? Okay, some guys are audio learners. You can just tell them. Right, some guys are tactical learners. They got to learn. They got to touch it. Okay, they got to step through it. You got to put the bags on the ground. Okay, you got to put a defense up in front of them. Okay, right, some guys are visual learners. They see it. They can do it. Okay, so it's and the best way to find that out. The best way to find that out is just ask them. What's the best way I can teach you? What's the best way you learn? Right? Because in your process of doing this, in your meeting room and on the field, you better cover all the bases. Okay? You better show it to them on the board. Right? You better make them repeat it back to you or draw it up on the board. Right? You got to show them film. You got to go through the walkthrough. Okay? You got to cover all the bases to find out, okay, they're picking it up because they're all going to learn differently. And some are going to learn faster than others. Okay, so at this point in time, Paul, have I used up most of my time? At this point in time.
Well, you had no set time, so if you want to end it there, you're good.
Well, keep going. We'll flash forward through these things. fast forward, keep going, right? Using the tool, right? All this stuff, Paul has all this stuff if you guys want it. Go ahead. Go ahead, keep going. Keep going. Okay. Manage your behavior to meet the challenge at hand. Great teams are aggressive, competent, and disciplined. Inspiration comes from everybody. People that produce great results feel good about themselves. Okay. Next. The power of endurance. Okay. All right. This is the last thing I'm giving you. Inside of all of us, there is an extraordinary person waiting to be released. Inside of everybody. Okay. Right. Unless we go past our personal best, you will never unleash that person. Unless you go past your personal best, right? You're never going to unleash that little person inside of you to get that feeling. Okay. That I think is important for them. Okay. They got to get past their personal best. Okay. You got to get them past their personal best. Okay. Delta Force. They make you live in a world of suck. Okay. When you're out there in training and boot camp. Okay. It's like fucking training camp, but worse. Right. They make you live in that world. Right. They put you in that world so it becomes easier on game day. Right. Football is a high performance business. Men who have talent and don't use it fail. Men who have talent and use it have failed. Men who have talent and use it to its fullest extent will experience satisfaction beyond no other that few men will ever know in their lives. Okay? That's important. All right, one more slide. I think I can get you to one more here. All right, this is the last one for sure. I promise this is the last one. All right, you guys that are still awake. Okay? There's two kinds of pain, and I think the player has to understand this. There's the pain of discipline. All right, that's the pain of discipline. The pain of discipline is temporary. Okay, well, I mean, the guys that have been around me have to practice. The offensive line goes to the 15 or 17-yard line. Why the 17-yard line? Because my daughter was born on the 17th of the month, so I put them on that yard line. And we run a full gasser. All right? And that's gonna, and I give them a time frame to run it in. Okay? And that is gonna take some doing, okay? Because it's at the end of practice. And it's not so much that I'm trying to kill them. Okay? I'm trying to make them mentally fight through it. Okay? Now that pain, while that running and hitting for that day, they're gonna go in, and they're going to get in the ice tub, and they're going to get in the whirlpool, and they're going to get a rub down, and they're going to go home, and their wife's going to pat them on the back. Oh, honey, are you sore? Is there anything I can do for you? All that shit. All right? So, right, that's temporary. That's going to go away, the pain of discipline. The pain of regret, okay, that lasts a lifetime. Okay? You're playing in the Grey Cup, or you're playing in the Super Bowl. Okay, and let's just say it's 4th and 1 on the goal line, right? And you have to block the guy down that's inside of you, okay? And you block out, okay? And that guy is free and hits the back 3 yards deep in the backfield, and you lose the Grey Cup and you lose the Super Bowl. That's the pain. You're not going to forget that. That is never going to go away. You have that for a lifetime. Okay? So the players have to understand that. Right? They want to live in the pain of discipline. They don't want to live in a world of regret. They don't want that pain at all. Right? That's tough to take. Okay? All right, guys. I don't know if I gave you too much or not enough. I don't know if I kept you awake or put you to sleep. I don't know any of that stuff because I can't see your faces when we're doing that. Okay? But if there's any questions, feel free to ask. No questions. You guys understood all that shit. Okay.
Thanks, Coach. It's good.
Yeah. You got a question? Give me a.
Wild, it's funny you brought up the running after practice in Montreal. We were doing training camp, and we always talk about whatever the guys do, as long as they do it together, that's what counts. So Phil Blake.
If they're going to sneak out, a curfew, I want them all to fucking go, not one. I want everybody to go, right, and everybody to come back if you're going to do that.
Yeah. Well, so they came up to me instead of doing the run after. They asked if they could go in the pool and do some stretching, and I said as long as everybody does it. So that was the best thing for us because all the guys got in the pool together. There were guys talking to each other that don't normally talk together. So just bringing that group together, that's just a key thing right there.
What I found out over the years, I remember when I was at Saskatchewan, they let people into the practices. Well, at the end of practice, the people would come and sit behind our drill. Remember, Paul? The stands would be full of people behind our drills with the offensive line. And then after practice, they would go sit over on the 17-yard line to watch us run the gas. It was amazing. Truly amazing. And then eventually, other groups come in. The running backs come over. The quarterbacks get involved. Some of the defensive guys get in it, and they run the gas.
Yeah. Well, so, Wiles, what we'll do is after Coach Strollo speaks, maybe we'll open it up, and then it could be just more general questions and stuff if guys have questions about other things too. So.
You kidding? I may be taking my nap by then. Are you
no, you won't. You send me text messages at like midnight, so you're always awake. You don't sleep. So yeah, thanks a lot, Wiles. And like I said, guys.